Is The Wizard of Oz at Sphere all hype, or actually worth the price of admission? Well, I went to see it for myself, and let me tell you, this is not your grandmother's Oz. Let's talk about this classic film and how it looks and feels in one of the most advanced venues on Earth.
We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Welcome to another review here on Was It Good? My name is Bob, and after some much needed time off and a trip to Las Vegas, I am back to talk about The Wizard of Oz at Sphere, which can be described as both an attraction and viewing experience. Now, before I get into this, I do want to let you know I'm not going to worry about any spoilers, as the original film did come out back in 1939, and I'm going to assume that a lot of people watching this review have already seen the film or are familiar with the story. Now, if you've seen The Wizard of Oz at Sphere, why don't you go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section below and let me know, did you think it was all hype or was it worth the price of admission? That being said, let's get to it. Now, as far as this review goes, I am going to be focusing on the film itself, but I do want to point out that there are some interactive features and things that you can do when you first get into the atrium of the Sphere, and it has two very different looks from when you first come in and when you actually leave. When you first come in, it's made to look like Kansas in the film, and it's got that sepia look, and when you're leaving, it's made to look more like the Emerald City, as it's much more bright and vibrant. So go ahead and take a look at those things when you do get there. Now, as far as the film itself, it was originally shot to fit a standard 4x3 screen, and you've got the Sphere, which is 160,000 square feet, 16K resolution, wraparound display. And so to make this particular film fit this display, you had to enhance it using AI. So you've got a lot of extensions to scenes. For example, you have characters that were kind of cut between in the original film, and now you can see them on the same screen at the same time. And you already knew they were there to begin with, but now you can see them on screen at the same time. And you also see a lot of new details in characters and in backgrounds. For example, you see a lot of mountains and things that weren't in the original, or they were just kind of a picture. Now, when Dorothy's walking down the yellow brick road and she meets her companions, you see a lot going on in the background, or you see a lot of enhancements, like I said, to certain details. For example, the ruby slippers have sparkles kind of coming off of them, or you see freckles and different things in facial features of characters that you didn't see before. And to see all of these details and extensions and enhancements on this type of display, to be honest, it just absolutely blew me away. I thought it was very breathtaking, and it made for a very unique viewing experience. The next thing I want to point out is that the sound in this venue is absolutely unreal, and you would expect that with all the concerts that they put on here. But for this film, what they did was they re-recorded several of the original songs so that the sound would be exactly what it needed to be for the 167,000 programmable speakers. And the seats themselves have these haptic sounds that come from them, and they vibrate, and that just takes you to a whole new experience. And several of the songs, like Over the Rainbow and The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, just wrap around you and make you feel like you're in the room or in the forest. Like when the witch is cackling, you also feel like she's right next to you. So overall, the sound is absolutely unreal, and this is exactly what you would expect from this venue. And again, it's something that's very unique and much different from what came before. But the best part about this film is the fact that it is an immersive 4D experience. You have a lot of multi-sensory effects going on, from apples falling from the sky, bubbles coming down that are supposed to be snow. You've got the flying monkeys coming down during the scene when they kidnap Dorothy. You got pyrotechnics going off when the wizard shows up. And to top it off, the best part of them all is the tornado itself. You've got wind blowing in your face. You got leaves coming around. There was people next to me that actually caught some leaves. And so it's made to make you feel like you're in a tornado, that you're in the land of Oz. And so the immersive experience that this film gives you makes it stand apart from its original 1939 counterpart. And it truly makes this film an attraction to see. Now, not everything is perfect when it comes to this version of The Wizard of Oz. Personally, I did not like the shortened runtime, as they cut about 30 minutes out of the film. So the film now sits at about 75 minutes in length. And to me, several scenes felt incomplete, and you could feel those reductions. as certain lines were missing or a song was taken out, and certain scenes just felt incomplete. So I didn't particularly like the shortened runtime. Now, I did read that one of the reasons why they did that is not every scene was easy to enhance with the AI, but personally, I think they did it so they could get more show times throughout the day. So I didn't like the shortened runtime. Also, there are moments throughout the film where it's clear that AI is being used, as certain characters are out of focus or the movements in the mouth don't look right. So you can clearly see the AI in certain portions. Now, that doesn't ruin the enjoyment of the film. As I already pointed out, I think this looks absolutely incredible, but there are some points where it is clearly noticeable. Real quick, before I get into my final thoughts, I want to remind everyone to go ahead and check out the other videos on my channel. Maybe I've reviewed something that you're interested in, or something that you've seen already and you'd like to let me know what you thought about it. Also, for those that are interested, I do have another YouTube channel with a couple of my friends where we put on a show called Dad's Turn to Talk. This is an opportunity for three dads to get together and talk about the things that we want to talk about, including movies, sports, pop culture, and have a little bit of fun at each other's expense. The link to that channel will be in the description below. Final verdict. Was it good? As an attraction and a viewing experience, I would rate this a 9 out of 10. It was visually stunning, the sound was incredible, and I really loved the 4D immersive aspect of it. I do think that this was worth the price of admission, but I do want to point out that I don't think you need to shell out for the most expensive tickets. Personally, I was literally one section over, and all that separated me from the most expensive tickets was a flight of stairs, and I saved about $150 a ticket. In fact, my fiance, who I was with, looked over at me and said, "What's the difference between these seats?" So I don't think you need to shell out for the most expensive tickets, but I do think that it is worth viewing, and I would probably see this again. Now, if you're still watching this long, I'd like to thank you for joining me. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, share it, subscribe to the channel, and check out my other reviews here on Was It Good? We'll see you next time.